Okay, so happy Tuesday. This is Avowed. We are currently 3 days, 7 hours, and 56 minutes into this playthrough. And so that is what? 72, 80 hours. So we're 80 hours into this game. From what I've heard, I think you can get usually, if you do pretty much everything in the game, you can get around 100 hours or so out of this. I'm not trying to do everything, so not a big deal. But we are currently in for the Heart of the Living Lands, which is the garden top of the screen there. How much farther we have to go, I don't know. Should be getting there. At least half the chat is not constantly raging or nagging to play MWO. I don't think anybody really wants to watch me play that anymore. I mean, not as much as it used to be.
I don't usually lend it out. Why?
I was hoping to make a few simple modifications.
What kinds of modifications?
Well, I was going to start by removing the trigger,
What?
then snapping off the hammer,
Are you serious?
and finally stuffing the barrel with tree sap.
Why would you do this?
Because I caught you reading my diary, that's why.
Oops.
Gianna,
I do not think oops
I
means what you
promise
think it
on my
means.
life, and on every life my soul has ever lived, I will never touch your diary again. And I'm very, very sorry.
Wonderful. In that case, you can hold on to your little toy.
Well, that was hard to watch. You okay?
I will be.
And he'll have learned a very valuable lesson, too.
So I haven't decided how I feel about these conversations. Sometimes they're entertaining, sometimes they're just annoying. And sometimes they happen too quickly.
Going diving into ancient ruins
Point
doesn't
made.
make much sense to me. You're going into some of the most deadly places in the lands. On purpose.
They're not any more dangerous than the rest of the living lands.
Right. But I'm there to keep people from making stupid mistakes. Like diving into ancient ruins on purpose.
Well, if you keep others out of the ruins, I have to go in. Who else will if I don't?
No one has to. If people were meant to go there, there'd still be people there.
Oh, you're so sweet for words.
I mean, I swear to the Ascendant Gods, you're about as hard to read as a Valian romance novel.
So you've read those romance novels then? Should we start a book club?
Right, we're done here. I'll be over there doing something else.
Okay, so I have my point here that the interactions between the characters. The best interactions are typically between Yahtzee and Marius because they are very different as far as their personalities. Marius is very reserved. He's your typical kind of grumpy dwarf. Yahtzee is whatever race she's supposed to be, and she is just... She probably shouldn't be in this group. So... anyway, to Vukul's question, and what would be my opinion of Avowed so far? Well, being about 80 hours into it, I enjoy the game. Otherwise, I wouldn't be streaming it still. I wouldn't be playing it still, obviously. But I wouldn't be... the thing is that I do enjoy it, and I know I'm not getting the best viewership out of this either here or on YouTube. But it doesn't really matter to me because I'm enjoying the game, and that's what's important for the most part. And nobody's trying to tell me how to play the game for the most part, and that's the best part too. So, but the game itself, it's fun. I enjoy it. Combat is exciting and that kind of stuff. Granted, I've only been playing Spellcaster so far, and melee is melee. The times that I've done it, it's fine. There's nothing special about it. It's just what it is. Spellcasting is a little bit more dynamic because you get to interact with the different effects from different spells. Like if you hit somebody enough with the cold spell, it will freeze them in place and you can kill them a little bit more easily. Hit them with fire spells enough and they light on fire. Lightning will eventually shock them so they don't move anymore type deal. The wand is an interesting weapon to use though. It's a nice little range weapon. And then what do we have? We basically have a kind of like a black hole spell. It's not really a black hole. It sucks them and makes them go away. It just sucks them to a central point, and they kind of lifts them up in the air, and they can't do anything for a good 10, 15 seconds or somewhere around there, depending on how strong the spell is. So, that. Storyline, for the most part, it's typical stuff. The main storyline is a little bit more interesting with Sapatal, who is the god that is basically we're an avatar for because we're godlike, yeah, godlike. So, you know, this Sapatal, I'm guessing, is a female, and she has created us to be in her image type deal, and we're basically, without ruining too much, the whole storyline is basically about you discovering who your sponsor is, in this case Sapadal, and what's going on with that. And the short version is Sapadal is a new god to the mythos, and she is basically a child in comparison to the other gods, and the other gods fear what she's possible or what she could do, and they've imprisoned her, and as a result, bad things have happened. And now we're to the point of, you know, are we going to free her? Are we going to kill her? That kind of stuff. So, and the way they've done basically past lives for you, trying to see, you know, your connection to Sapadal and what's happened in the past with her and the decisions she's made or reactions she's had to the world and that kind of thing. And that's kind of cool. I kind of like that stuff. And you get to make decisions on what your reactions were at that time back in the past type deal. You know, before you were you. You know, basically you're another being, and it's kind of cool, and it's interesting. Now, keep in mind that I am not. This takes place in the Pillars of Eternity universe, which I'm not super familiar with. I've played Pillars of Eternity 1, but I didn't finish it, and Pillars of Eternity 2 I haven't played. Although this is kind of kicking me in the promoting or encouraging me to come back and take another look at those, at least at one, and to see if I want to play it again. I need to see if I really want to do that. I'm not sure. But overall, I like the game. Overall, I like it. So,
hello, meatbag.
I don't know why she did that. I wasn't talking to her. Okay. Now, if we want to talk about actual criticisms and stuff of that game, about the game, it's a different. That's a whole thing. I mean, we could talk about this game. We'll wait until they finish it. Then we'll do a proper, you know, review. And I'm not going to go, you know, a typical game review to stuff. I'll talk about the game and what I like and what I don't like, that kind of stuff. Again.
30 years.
So these
Why do you-
conversations.
How do you make that work for so long?
Well, it helps to have a partner so understanding and virile. Why do you ask?
Over all that time, how do you hold in the parts of yourself they'd never accept? How do you contain all your worst pieces?
Darling, if you can't be your worst self with them, what's the point?
Is there one thing that I want to change ASAP? Character related stuff? Maybe the abilities? I'm not sure here because maximum level is level 30. And we're currently level 26. And you get 1 point to spend on your abilities every level. So we're going to have 4 more points to spend here. This is a game balancing issue. Is it? Is it a game balancing issue, or is it just getting you to focus on certain things? I'm thinking specifically for spellcasters, because again, I don't have any experience with the fighters and the ranger. Fighters, melee, ranger, of course, is, you know, is range stuff. And wizards do their things. Their mechanics is fairly different, from what I can tell. I'm thinking, because when I was playing this earlier, before I discovered that maximum level was 30, I thought it was 20. So, and we were like at level 17. I go, oh, max level 20. We're not going to have shit for points. We're not going to have shit for abilities when we hit 20. Because we were, you know, it was just 1 point a level, and it's just like, oh, we're not going to have enough to do what I would like to do. And now that we're knocking on 30, because if I could get one more, because I'm trying to focus on electricity, you know, shocking, lightning type stuff. So 4 more points to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all so shocking. This increases our damage with shocking damage 1 by 10 more cents. This increases the effectiveness of the returning storm, which is another, storm. That's a bouncy and lightning bolt type deal, and this is like a singular stream of lightning type deal. Those are all the important shocking stuff here that are related to your abilities. 4 more points though. As you can see, I didn't even touch this blood magic and harvest essence stuff. This is depleted. You may continue casting by reducing your health. Depleted. You may continue casting by reducing your health by 110% of the essence cost. So that might have been interesting to use in combination with the corrosive siphon. This is how you basically get health back from your enemies. I'm not sure how. I'd like to explore with this a little bit more, but while keeping the lightning stuff too, just have like a little combination type stuff. So immediate change. I'm thinking more points to spend, but how they would do that, I don't know. Maybe a second point every other level or something like that. Because they do something similar with your character points. These guys, these are your attributes basically. And up until 10th level, you get a point every level. But once you hit level 10, then it's a point every other level. And here, I would like to see you get an extra point every other level as well. You get a point every level, but you get an extra point every other level. Maybe starting at level 10 or 15 or whatever. Just to either, specialize a little bit heavier into one particular area or not. Or maybe multi-class a little bit, as in do some a little bit lightning and cold, or lightning and fire, or fire and cold, that kind of thing, just to give a little bit more variation. Again, I don't know how that would work with the fighters and rangers though, because I'm not familiar with what they do. Or something big every 5 levels. Yeah, they could have thrown something in like that. Yeah, how they're doing this here, how they're opening up the Grimoire Mastery stuff, which is kind of what this is actually. That something big every 5 levels. That's what the Grimoire Mastery is, because this is opening up your spells. As in, you can actually, because the way the magic system works in this game is you need a Grimoire in order to use a spell. And then if, but these aren't all the. Are these all the spells? I think they might be, but. I don't know. Can you buy these? I don't think you can buy these until you have the Grimoire to go along with these. As you can, I think, that's what it is. You can't buy these spells until you actually have a Grimoire with the spell in them. And then you can buy the spell and you don't have to use a Grimoire anymore to use that spell. But if you are using that Grimoire where the spell exists, in this case, the Storm, right? I have the Grimoire I'm using currently is Odd Cora's Grimoire, which has Chill Blades, Ring of Fire, Returning Storm, and Pull of Aora. And it tells you, what spells you've actually bought. And the way this works here is normally Returning Storm I can use anytime I want. I don't need a Grimoire in hand in order to use it. But if I do have a Grimoire that has the spell in it, my current level is rank 2. But if I'm holding the Grimoire with the spell in it, it actually gets bumped up to 3rd level, Returning Storm. You get all that, whatever that is. And that applies to every spell. So in this case, Pull of Aora, I have 1 point there. Do I? Is that right? It is. I do, but by the 1st rank. And the reason I got the 1st rank is that's just to use it whenever I feel like. And this is the Black Hole spell, basically. And when I'm using this Grimoire, it actually is rank 2, so it affects more people. Instead of 2, it affects 3. So, it's an interesting magic system that way. But like I said, in order to use, the appropriate spells, 10, 15, and 20, you have to unlock them with this particular thing. So it's a case of wizards. This is the big thing every 5 levels that you have to buy. If you want to be, a wizard, basically. An actual wizard, instead of just, the basic spells, which are the 1st row up here. You don't need a Grimoire to get these, I think. maybe. But anyway, they're all unlocked because again I have grimoires in my inventory that open them, that allow me to use them. And this particular spell, the Arcane Seal, I don't have a book for. And this is a seal at your feet for 30 seconds. Your essence regenerates while you stand within the seal's lingering effect. I wouldn't really want to use the spell in most cases anyway. And the reason is the way the game works is when you're doing a lot of damage, the enemies kind of notice that and somebody comes over to kick your ass. So you wouldn't be able to use the spell too often. The Arcane Seal, it sounds like cool. You just stand there and regenerate mana and throw spells all day. But somebody will come over and start kicking your ass, and you will have to run away. So I'm not sure how effective this would be. Might be neat. Oh, I like this. Increases your maximum ability cast. Oh, no, that's cast speed within the seal. Enemies within the seal are slowed. I wonder how big the seal is. Yeah, so we need to find a grimoire with this spell. And somehow I don't think we're going to. Well, we might. But anyway. So, to answer your question, something big every 5 levels? Yes, definitely. But in this case, I think this is what the grimoire stuff for the wizards. Because this is pretty big, opening up these spells. These are not slacker spells. These are usually pretty strong. So, and then if you put a couple of points into them, you hold the right grimoire, they're even better. So, yeah. As far as the ranger... So you can see the ranger stuff doesn't really have that. I mean, other than it's opening up this way as you level up. And I don't know if this stuff is considered big or not, because again, I haven't used it. And fighter, same boat. So. And then godlike abilities, you get these are basically awarded through story stuff. And then companion abilities, they could use more points. Maybe. Because they don't have any points to spend in a little while. But these are basically abilities on timers, not based on mana or anything like that. So you can use these whenever they're ready to go. We just played it again after some DLCs. I don't know. I don't think a DLC is really going to help this story, tell you the truth. This game is not like Skyrim. This is not an open world game. This is very much a story-based game. As in, you move from area A to area B after you finish everything you want to finish in area A, right? Unlike Skyrim, where you just run around and do whatever you want. You can follow the storyline if you want or not. Here, it's the storyline. That's what we're doing here. We're playing a story. So it's a very different thing than, say, Skyrim. The open worldness of this is not really open world. Yes, you can run around and do stuff in whatever order you choose to. But if you don't want to follow the storyline, you're not going to have a whole lot of stuff to do other than run around and just killing stuff, right? There's some minor quests and that kind of thing there, but it's not the same as it is in, say, Skyrim. So, and that was a big knock against this game that I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, this isn't very a lot like Skyrim." And it's like, it's not meant to be like Skyrim, and that's what people aren't paying attention to. They apparently weren't paying attention to all the press and stuff they talked about of this game when it was first announced, and they discussed it as it's going through development. This game wasn't intended to be anything like Skyrim. It's its own thing. It's an RPG. It's got a storyline, and that's it. Does it branch at all? I don't know. And that's what I'm kind of curious to see what the end is going to be, because you do actually get a choice on what you're going to... It looks like you do get choices on how you're going to finish the story. And so it's interesting on how that goes. And whether it's worth playing again, if they add DLCs, I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to go back and play it as a different class just to get a different experience, but I don't know if I want to. I would say you probably can only get maybe 2, at most 3 playthroughs of this game. And there are not going to be a whole lot of differences there, except when it's related to the main storyline. Unless you want to be a murdering bastard. That's a different story. But even then, you can only murder certain people. You can't murder everybody you want. You can only murder things that are supposed to be murdered in the first place. Basically, stuff out in the wilderness. You can't go around and kill everybody in the city, is what I'm trying to say, like you can in certain other games. This one is, it's a little bit more structured in what you're able to do, which I don't have an issue with, because they're trying to tell a story here, and they want to maintain the integrity of the story without allowing too many, break-offs from that storyline. So I'd be curious to play it again as a different class and maybe some different content, and that's where a DLC might come in. But I'm not expecting to see any DLCs for this game, not related to non-cosmetic stuff. So I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I haven't finished. Maybe once I finish the story and see what maybe the possibilities are as far as what our choices are, that might be a prompt to play it again, to go down a different path. But even then, I don't think it's going to change a whole lot. It might, but as far as the overall storyline, I don't think it will. But we won't know that until the end. So, having said all that, we should start running around. Actually, one of the first things I'd fix in this game is Marius. See this little exclamation point over his name? It means he has something to say.
How about
They're talking
The
again.
thing back there, that was intense.
Hey, Ring, welcome back.
Anyway,
Yeah, see this stuff. That's all he had to say. You can go through this here, but it doesn't matter here. The exclamation point, that's what he wanted to talk about. That thing was intense.
good?
I'm not even sure what he's talking about.
How about me?
He says he got
Why
something else
settle in
going.
fewer? The Living Lands has godless ruins everywhere.
Aside from meeting the love of my life there.
What, you figured out he was the love of your life all in a day?
If you'd seen what he'd done the night before, he'd be the love of your life, too.
See, and that's why we keep her around. Because she makes everybody else feel uncomfortable.
I'd rather not talk, if I can help it. Anyway,
And then, see, this is the first thing I would change. Is either give him more lines or take those lines out, because they're worthless.
hey,
Oh, look, he's not done yet.
sorry. Yanku was here. Right. I could just not sleep ever again. Anyway,
Yanku is just like his best friend from wherever. We already ran into his spirit
Before I got some
earlier.
reading.
Look, he's got more stuff to say.
they were all dead. All of them. Anyway,
See, they could have either...
thanks for talking.
Whoever thought it was a good idea to do this needs to be
As
punched.
we were saying. Hey, sorry about your parents. You know,
And I was talking about
That's very
Giada.
kind. Sometimes grief clings to you like a shadow. Sometimes you wonder where it went.
it's not easy, but you get used to it after a while.
You seem to know from experience.
No, I mean, not really. I've left people behind, though, and it was difficult.
Anytime you want to talk about it, let me know.
Right. Thanks for that.
So another thing I would like to see. Since they're talking to each other, shouldn't they be looking at each other? They kind of do it in the close-up conversation stuff. They kind of look in their
I'd
general
rather not
direction.
talk.
Like he just
I'll
looked
get
at
out
us,
of it.
right?
Anyway,
Like they kind of look at each other in the closer ups conversations, but here they never face each other. They're always facing the same direction.
Yatsli, did the godless believe anything about the stars?
I mean, their mouths are
Any
moving,
stories about the night sky?
but they're not looking at each other.
There's an Akidan myth that all stars are actually bonfires far in the distance, giving you a peek into the lives of others you'd otherwise never meet.
Fascinating.
Why do you ask, dearie?
There's a lot about the physical world we still don't understand. And I always wonder how much we've forgotten. Falling stars, for example, are rich with soul essence. We still don't know why.
Interesting.
I have a theory, but maybe I should keep it to myself.
Oh, well, you can't keep it to yourself now. Share.
Talking about forbidden lore is a good way to attract the wrong sort of attention. The hand occult, for instance.
Oh, the suspense is killing me, dearie.
Let's discuss it in private, when no one else is listening.
no point. You two are incredibly loud when you're gossiping.
This isn't gossip. It's academic discourse.
Either way, it's loud.
Ignore them, Giada. We're going to be as loud as we like.
So,
They were all dead. All of them. Anyway,
that's just a repeat. So again, whoever decided on doing this stuff for him messed up, because it's not done correctly and it's annoying. Because this is supposed to indicate he's got something important to say, and almost every time it's not.
You
Everybody
don't
else, it
really
works.
like the food of the dead swordfish, do you?
Sure I do. What's wrong with it?
Well, first of all, it's being served at a place called the Dead Swordfish.
Would you rather eat a live swordfish?
Second, I think the chef devised their recipes after suffering severe air trauma.
They're traditional Rowatine dishes. We have to get creative with our ingredients.
Not sure I call throwing a fish in a hole and leaving it there to rot for months a creative way to cook.
Next time I cook, I'm cooking for 3.
Good, I would be number 4 and I don't have to eat that shit. Okay, let's go do something. Okay, we bring Giada and Yatsley with us. Giada is our healer buffer type person, and Yatsley is a damage dealer. Crowd control type person. Yeah, more damage dealing than crowd control, but I'm mostly the crowd control. Okay, so again, garden. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. Following the arrow and the floating in the sky. I have this thing. This is the Wodaka, little avatar type thing. It talks every now and then, sometimes. This one's not talking anymore. What am I supposed to be doing? Oh yeah, we're finding Sapadal. Listen for the sparkling noises, which unfortunately they've added to the background of this whole area, which is annoying because you think you're near treasure or something, but it's either far away or it's not even anywhere close. We went over there, didn't we? I'm looking to see if I can make a jump. If I make that jump, will I be able to do anything, and would it be worth it? I don't think so. That's pretty far. Usually those mushrooms are a bitch to climb, so I'm not going to even bother. Oh, look, water. Oh, were they actually kind of? Oh, they were. So, when we first came into this area, this is one of the early areas into this dungeon, so to speak. And when you run into the sarcophagus, only a specific key can open it up. This key that we need to open is pretty far in. I'm kind of surprised they let us back here so quickly. But it's got to be important to this what's going on, right? Some nice armor. Spirit Mender. Spirit Mender is medium armor. Legendary, of course. Damage reduction. Stuff. 2% of your attack damage is restored as essence. Newness at battery. Plus 100 maximum essence. Finally, some good caster stuff. Currently, I'm wearing the Wild Walker armor, which is receiving an elemental status applies that status to all nearby targets. Wild Strike. 20%, plus 20% fire, frost, and shock accumulation. This is going to be better because it's going to give us our essence as mana. And it's green. Our outfit is not very well organized. That's okay. Stuff. So the Arcanist, Gambus, and we wore that for a long time. Oh, look, I'm encumbered. Stuff we're gonna... Don't do that. I'm gonna break this down, this stuff, for parts. Get some weight back. Wow, that stuff wasn't very heavy. Anyway, I freed up 40, almost 50 pounds. Whatever the weight system is here. Okay, now where do I go? Arrow in the sky. Get back up there, which means going this way. Okay, so again, very kind of them to direct us back to that sarcophagus. I wasn't expecting that. I thought we were going to have to go back and find our way back to that sarcophagus, see what was inside of it. I was seriously considering not doing it. Oh shit. Wow. Somehow I did not take any damage. Don't know why. Mean stuff. Keep Ben here. I'm scratching the whole time. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's right. This is where Marius' friend was. Yes, he's here waiting for us. And here. Magfolk Graveyard. What's a Magfolk? Part of the story of Sapadal, actually. Oh. It's destroyable. Oh, sorry, burnable wall. Oops. Oh, this was the exit point for this thing. Okay. So we found this water a while back, and we weren't able to get all the way through because it was obstructed here. And you can't use grenades when you're underwater, so we're kind of not able to get through there. It was basically just a little shortcut. Could have been a shortcut. Not sure why. Why would they put that in there again? Now I'm confused. Why would they have that at all? Oh yeah, we had a fight here too. We had to open up this doorway. With the little shields up on the side where we had to energize the little area, that little spots that open this thing up.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is Kai's little thing.
Yeah.
Little background story. The background stories and the characters. I think Giada's the only. Yatsley actually hasn't had one. Not sure why, but Giada's I think is the best of the background stories. Mainly because her parents got turned into trees. That happened somewhere around here, I think. So basically we're in the garden. The garden is where Sapadal's supposed to be, trapped. And it's not really... it's a magical place. It's kind of like the first world in Pathfinder. Kinda. Thing charged? Thing is charged. Let's make sure. It's basically these things, you put a little bit of electricity into them and they work. And I think that was the one to unlock the door. I think. One of them at least. Oh yeah. Could be in a big circle. Because I went the wrong way. I went the right, they didn't want me to go. There's another locked door. These are different. Normally, these shields have a, the little mechanism in front of them. There's a little wire or cable that runs off to where you're supposed to energize. Somehow, it's like that thing over there. Not very accurate. It's too far. How about this, though? And lightning storm didn't go through the window, mostly. I was kind of hoping it was going to hit over there, but that was wishful thinking. It still did. Oh, it did work. Because that was not lit up when we first got here. Okay, so the other two. Going to be over here. Puzzles. Remember, we hate puzzles. And this is where we kind of left off last week, so... Oh, we need Yachtsley to open that up. That's her special thing. Oh, this is kind of an annoying thing. Is they have these doors, right? Oh, there's a throwable option for this. Okay, so never mind.
Child's play.
My criticism was defeated there. Basically, I was going to say I was going to complain about how you can't, in order to get through some of these doors, you need one of your companions that has a special ability. Like, she breaks down illusion type stuff, and Kai does the stuff that can be burned. And I wasn't sure if we could throw stuff at this, but apparently it said we could. I don't know if I have it. I'm sorry. I don't know if we have the right grenades for that. Lily seed. It's electrical energy. That's cold. This is acid? Yeah, that's acid or poison actually. That regular grenade, and this is the fire one. So I'm not sure which one of these would have opened this. And now we're supposed to hit this one.
On sick.
I think we got it. Got it. Okay, that's what the blue shield means. So this one is over here somewhere. It's this one. It's that right there. Got it. Okay, so puzzles here are not the most complex. They're fairly simple for the most part. At least all the ones I've figured out. I hate puzzles. So now what's the point of being in here? I don't know. Just a spear? Wayfinder. So this is just a spear. Full combo attack deals high stun to nearby enemies. Greatly increases the distance traveled during a power attack. Sure what that's supposed to be. It's a weapon I don't use, so. That's all that was for. Get more sparkles. And lockpicks. So these are just components for doing equipment upgrades. Oh, and here's another question about the game is itemization. Is stuff you find in boxes random, or is it there specifically? It's pre-planted type deal. So if I run through this again as a different character and everything, will it be different stuff or will it be the same stuff? I have a feeling it's going to be the same stuff because of the way the upgrades and stuff work. Which is kind of a... If that's the way it's going to be. If you only run through once or twice, it doesn't really matter. If this was meant to be done multiple times, it would be a bigger deal for sure. So anyway, that was just to get the spear. What's the importance of the spear? It's not that good of a weapon for that kind of a puzzle. I thought it was a difficult puzzle, but... Been here. Can't tell if I hear something sparkly or not, because again, the background environmental noise. Oh, the spider eggs. Destroy them with fire, but there's no... doesn't seem to be a point to them. Spider eggs have never been an issue. I was expecting them to, you know, become spiders, but they don't. So where am I supposed to go? Down this way. Go up that way. Mushrooms everywhere. We have not been here. Hide in the grass. They see us? Doesn't see us. Let's get acceleration on our power cycling and yacht slaying. Actually, put shield up to everybody. Blast that one, please. Ow. It sucks him up in the air. And blast him. Big mean bear. Ow. Shoot us. Ow. A little fire shield, so he hits me, gets lit on fire. And he's dead.
sink!
Long fight. More on the other side.
Sink!
Another bear. They're all on cycle. Let's see. We have here godlike abilities. Seeds of Vengeance. That figure what that does.
Behind! Little!
You heal? We're good on heals. It's a little drain here. Gets my health back and also freezes them in place temporarily.
On sink!
Ah, we win yet?
That'll show him.
So, the new armor. Kept my mana up pretty good. It's based on the damage I'm doing. It's not too bad. A lot of loot on the ground, though. Skeleton bones. A bit of money that we don't really need. Get up there. You're gonna get up there. Puzzle time. Look, it's a little creature we can't kill. Oh yeah. Beef. There's creatures you can't kill. Like those little things that were running around. And cows and pigs and other things. Ooh, nice little two-handed sword I can't use, or not gonna use.
Hello Gimpy, it is time to take a break. Go check on the dogs.
I'm busy swimming.
This break supports the purchase of Rocket's treats. If you would like to help Rocket feel like a puppy again, please visit gimpyknee.com/support or type !treats in chat. Thank you. Your next break is in 1 hour.
Just a second. Looks like we're not getting out of here. Here we are. And now we're encumbered again. How am I doing on potions? Fine on potions. 72 healing potions, 27 mana. Healing one's not that big deal anymore. Well, they're more of a, oh shit, I need heals real quick. But other than that, I don't really use them too much between my spell and Giada. Okay, well, we'll sit here for a second. Take a break. Gonna get up, stretch my legs, get some water, and go see what Mrs. Gimpy and Rocket are up to. I'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you all very much for watching, and enjoy the dog video. Be back shortly.